Yo, what it do, man? Welcome to our first episode of GrindFace and the Therapist, man. We gonna go raw dog with this one. We don't know much about podcasting, but we just gonna jump in on the deep end. And today's topic is gonna talk about dealing with success, man. Um, Introducing me, I'm Dimitrius and my wife,
Saniyyah.
and we've been together for 20 plus years, marriage for 20 plus years. So we just gonna leave our opinion on our life struggles and life lessons, and we're gonna get started on success. So what you got going on?
So you want to give them a backstory or what?
I mean, we could talk about the backstories, how we used to was teenage parents, um, catching the bus with the groceries and the kid, the struggles we have. You know what I'm saying? I mean, give them a little bit of the struggles, walking, catching the bus. I remember one story that really impacted me, struggling. And this is because I'm normally never asked for help. I'm not the type to ask for help, but this time I needed a co-signer, and basically, my mom or my sister didn't want to co-sign me for a vehicle, saying I wasn't responsible enough, or whatever. Who knows what reason why they didn't want to co-sign? But that really like stuck with me. Like, damn, ain't nobody gonna help me when I'm down. And I never asked for anything. So when that happened, I just got on my grind harder to make things happen. And then at one point in life, I owned five vehicles, and man, you know what I'm saying? Just how things change, and you just move on. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny because I remember that story. And even while we were married, and before we were married, when I would want to ask my parents and different people for help, I remember you getting mad. Like, even if it was just for a ride, you're like, no, we'll walk. And I used to get so frustrated with you, but it taught me so much not depend on anybody outside of our four walls. And so I think even in that was a lesson for me because I did have a support system. But I remember when I would ask, you'd be like, don't ask them, we'll do it. Even if we have to walk, we have to catch the bus. And so I think even in that, from a young age, because I think we were only like, what, 18, 19 then?
Yeah, we was young.
You already had the mindset of like, I'm going to go get it myself. I'm not going to ask anyone for anything.
And that's the sad part is today's time in this generation is like they don't attempt to try nothing. They just want a handout. Saying if you do need a ride or something, what's wrong with the bus? I guess they got Uber now.
Yeah, it's Uber
but
now.
Uber is so much expensive. Like, say you want to go somewhere that's like $20, when the bus is right there, it could take you all the way across town for like $2. It's just a part of the effort that this generation is not trying to put into the hard work. I feel like.
Right, right. I mean, we definitely have a story. You know, met when I was 13, 8th grade. You were 13, freshman in high school. And it just went on from there. You know, success. I remember when I got pregnant, we were both 15.
Oh, don't be like them. That was the story. People were saying, don't be like us. But yet now they wish they was like us.
Which is so funny how tables turn. But I remember being 15 pregnant. And, you know, that'd be another podcast show, you know, how we were before. But anyways, I looked into the community, you know, and different people that I saw, and I was like, I don't want to be that. And so, which made me change my life around. You know, I didn't hang out anymore. I kind of became an introvert because I pretty much wanted to be the best mother that I could be. And so I think that was the driving force for me as an individual to say, hey, you know, I want better. And I think I always say that motherhood is either going to make you or break you. You're either going to show up or step away. It's really going to show the true person of who you are and how determined you are. And I think getting pregnant, even though I don't, you know, promote teenage pregnancy, that was my driving force because then it was no longer about me.
Yeah, you totally switched the game up on me because I was attracted to the other person. So when you got pregnant, you switched up on me. That was a whole different obstacle I got to deal with and go through.
Which
you know, saying you changed and I didn't change. So that's a different story.
Introduced a lot of problems into our relationship and then in our marriage years to come that we got over, thank God. But that's a whole other podcast story. But yeah, I felt like I had to grow up. And looking back, I think because I didn't want to be what I saw, I think I was too extreme and overkill.
But let's talk about even you dropping out of high school. Ain't you drop out?
Yeah, I am.
She's a dropout. And just to bring that up, because people want to use that as an excuse. Oh, I didn't finish school, or this and that. It's never too late to make a change in your life.
Right. I did drop out of high school, but having my baby determined me, like, I was on go mode. I dropped out. I didn't drop out. Let's make it clear, because I was always in honor classes, always smart, never a dummy, ever.
It was difficult.
The support system and different things that I was dealing with during that time, being homeless, you know, a lot of stuff. I had my first place at 16, and so school wasn't the priority once I had a baby, because there was a lot of moving parts with households, family members, parents, that I wasn't really allowed to focus on school, because I was actually in survival mode. So I didn't just say, hey, I'm going to stop school. I had a baby to think about, and I had, I was in, survival mode.
So when at what age did you feel like you get out that survival mode, like everything got a little bit more comfortable?
I think when we actually moved in together, because it was easier for me, because then I had a teammate.
True.
You've always been, that's one thing I will always give you credit for, is I've never had to work. If I wanted to work, is because I wanted to. A lot of times people say men are the head of the household, but they don't step into that role. And I could say, even from when we were teenagers, you always provided financially to where I could be at home with the kid or the kids, and so that was huge for me, just having that support. And that's how we became one another's support. That goes back to don't ask anybody, but in these four walls, we got each other. But then I want to, venture off to success, because that's really what we wanted to talk about in this podcast.
Well, we was just bringing the struggle up. I mean, we wasn't born with a silver spoon in our hand. That's the point we was trying to point out right there. Is like we really came from the mud and got it out the mud into where we at now.
Okay, so
let's talk about business. Well, let's go back to what made you want to get your master's degree and go to school.
Whew. So I've always was a dreamer, that used to get on your nerves, and now you can see why.
Yeah, that used to, yeah, she was dreaming. I was like, nah, this is reality. We got to do this right now. Like, this got to be paid.
I've always seen the bigger picture. I've always been, had faith, and I've always been willing to take risks where Mr. Mayo has always been safe. And so I've always seen the bigger picture. I've always seen myself doing greater things, even at a young age. Even when people couldn't understand the things that I was saying and comprehending, which is funny now, because they always tell me now, you always said this stuff. But he didn't understand it, because he was more of probably dealing with the stress of the bills. And see, I didn't have to deal with that. I've never stressed over a bill not being paid. But I remember watching you and what's the matter? You would never say, oh, I'm stressed about the bills or anything, but just your energy let me know something was wrong with something you had to take care of. But you always kept that away from me, which I appreciate, because you never allowed me to have to take on that stress of basically figuring out ways to provide for the family.
True. And that's what even stress, because since 16 I had a job, and that's kind of my success story also, because I was afraid to leave a
9 to 5.
A 9 to 5, because I'm used to put in the work. You got a paycheck. You know what I'm saying? If I did the work, I got paid. You know what I'm saying? And bills don't stop coming. So when I was at this point at this one job that my side hustle was making way more money than my 9 to 5.
You still didn't want to quit.
I still didn't want to quit my job, because it was embedded in me that you need to keep a job. And then just one year, man, I just jumped out on faith and just.
You jumped out after I showed you it could be done. I jumped out.
True. I mean, but at the same, it was time, and and once I made that transition, it was just more blessings. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyways, you didn't get to the point of your process of going to school and get your master's? Like, you was a stay-at-home mom. What
I was
made
a
you want to
stay-at-home
go?
mom. So I was a stay-at-home mom, which is boring for a creative. I do, you know what? Even though it was boring, I will say this in terms of I feel like I didn't have a social life, but I won't take that back because the time that I was able to spend with my kids, volunteering in their classrooms, doing things like that hands-on that I didn't get to do with our youngest daughter that I would have liked. But at that point, I was like in school and doing things like that. But even though I was a stay-at-home mom, I've always had vision, but when I was younger, even though I was creative, I didn't know what I was supposed to do. I just had the title of mom and the title of wife. And sometimes women can get lost in those titles and forget that they were a person before they became these things. And for me, because I was a mother at such an early age, it was almost like my identity. And once I saw and start, tapping into my creative mood, I would write at home. I would write poems. I've always wrote films, like scripts. And so I remember just thinking like, I want to be a lawyer. And so I went back to school. That's when I got
Yeah, she's very good at investigating shit.
in debating, but I'd be right a lot of times. However, so I remember going back. Well, I got my GED when I was like, 18? So, but then I went back to school to get my associates when I was like 23. And then after that, I'm like, okay, I don't want to be a lawyer. Then I was like, I want to work with at-risk youth, to instill in kids what I wish I would have gotten when I was their age. And so then I was like, okay, I want to be a probation officer. Then I interned, and I'm like, I'm not a paper pusher. I wanted to impact, not just monitor. And you didn't have, the caseloads were so big that you wouldn't even see all your probationers on a continuous basis or a regular basis. So for me, it was just like, this is not for me. But then I got my bachelor's. But by the time I was pursuing my bachelor's, I had already knew and I had prayed about it, because that's a story within itself. Was seeking purpose, crying out to God. Like I know I have talents, but what did you create me to do? My thing now in life is I'm very intentional with everything. And every day I get up with a purpose. And so I remember seeking, God for purpose. I was like in my mid-20s back then. And I was just crying out, asking him, what is my purpose? Like, what did you create me to do? And I remember enrolling in school. And then the next day we were in our leadership class before church. And they were talking about purpose. And I remember crying out to God during praise and worship and asking, did I go to school without consulting you? And I will never forget Minister Lynn, this lady that used to attend my church. She came back to me and she walked to me in the, oh my goodness, I'm tongue-tied. I went to the bathroom after praise and worship. She came into the bathroom. She followed me into the bathroom. Followed. Not in that way. Anyways, she came into the bathroom and she started talking to me and telling me that I was crying out to God about my purpose. And my purpose was to not just go to school to get my bachelor's, my master's, and all this other stuff. And I was supposed to be in counseling. And the funny thing is, like 2 days before that, I had enrolled in my bachelor's program with the anticipation of becoming a therapist. And so I was always the go-to person, always since I was a kid, always a leader. People always came to me for advice. But I never knew I could make money off of being a therapist.
I told her, stop letting them call you with their problems and charge their asses.
Oh, he would be so mad. He would be so mad at me. They would call me all times of the night, just different people asking me about their marital issues. I was counseling before I was even a therapist.
She was putting women up on game. My homies did not want their girls to come talk to her. Like, don't let your wife talk to my girl. Like, she's going to enlighten them.
Only broken men and weak men don't want an empowered woman, because then once they know their worth, they may have to level up. But anyways, that was a huge issue. But, that was said and done. Then all of that came to fruition, and then I pursued, my master's. So I was always in my talent, in my gift, operating in my gift, writing books, writing movies. I was doing it all before I even, really tapped into it. And so that's what made me be like, okay, because I think what made me pursue more was just sitting at home, cooking, cleaning, taking care of the kids, after school activities. And then one day at 25, I woke up and was like, hey, where's Saniyyah? I'm more than just a mom and a wife.
Yeah, she tried to switch it up again. See, you guys? Like, she switched it up when she was pregnant, and she tried to switch it up again at 25. They used to be mad at me because I ain't switched up. I was still the same old dude.
Yeah, I wanted him to grow up. And you know, that was so I was really religious. Now I'm spiritual and I have a relationship with God, but before it was more religious. It was routine. It was what I thought a Christian should be, you know, what was, you know, what I saw. And so because I saw that, I kind of pushed those values on him, and I think that was our biggest conflict, because I'm like, look, like, we're out of that life. And even though you've never been the type of guy to hang out, you were always at home. I never had those issues where you were just out. Just a little when infidelity came in. But besides that, you were typically always at home or always at home. But yeah, I think a lot of our conflict came in because, you know, when you're with somebody since you're 13, like, you evolve and you're not that same person. And I felt like I was growing up a little bit more faster than he was. I was getting frustrated with him, and he was getting frustrated with me.
Yeah, she was running to old age. I was just walking.
It wasn't that I was running into old age. I just felt like, you know, being a responsible adult came with a mature mindset and mentality. I think I was overboard, though, because at 25, I probably was acting like I was 45 instead of 25.
And I think the church played a big part of that, in my opinion.
Well, so it did, because I was religious. Again, I wasn't spiritual, and I was going based on what was told to me versus seeking God myself. And I was trying to be perfect instead of better. And so I'm still like this. I believe in walking it how I talk it. Like, even as a therapist, I'm not going to get in. Some people, you know, they say stuff that, you know, or try to tell people things that they're not actually living. And I never wanted to be that person. So when I got, you know, I was a Muslim growing up. My mom was a Muslim, and then my dad got saved and became a Christian. And then I had to choose between the two. And I did that on my own by, you know, researching Islamic views and Christianity views. And then I decided for myself, where was I going with this?
I don't know, but they probably thinking, what's this got to do with success? Well, this is the point of success, is basically our relationship is success.
No, I was going to say something.
We came from toxic, broken people, and now we be better in a place.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to cut you off, because now I know what I was saying. So basically what I was saying was, I was religious in the sense of, I thought like, oh, you know, this is a good Christian. That's a good Christian. And I just really don't believe in being a hypocrite in anything I do. If I am preaching something, I want to live that. So I never want to be like that hypocrite, like teaching values and purpose, especially with my kids. I don't believe in kids do what you say. I believe they do what they do. So I have 2 daughters. So for me, those principles are big in showing them what a woman is with integrity and self-respect. And so I didn't want to be a hypocrite. And so because he wasn't living according to the same standards I was living, it became an issue. But I even feel like tying it into success, I believe because we were toxic back then. I would say we were both broken, trying to find ourselves. We were kids. And we didn't know what success looked like. You know, we didn't have a successful blueprint of what a healthy marriage looked like, a healthy family looked like. But you did have key factors, like I was saying, of being a man, you know, taking care of the household. But I feel like success came in when we went through everything we went through, I began to look at success from a different perspective. Like, we didn't have to be perfect. We just needed to be better.
And what works for us might not work for you.
Right.
You know, everybody's success is different on every topic. So, you know what I'm saying, what works for you.
And then another thing I will say, like, because he was working and you were in like doing graphics and a lot of different things.
Actually, I went to school too. I got my AA in graphic design. I got my BA in
graphic communication.
Visual communications. My bad. You know what I'm saying? The thing is, when I used to hang out, I also was the one that I'm about to go to school before I hang out. So I was enrolled at the local community college, getting classes. Then I came back and hung out, and then that just motivated the people that are on the block. They also joined school.
You
so
keep
I was
saying hung out like you were out. You hung out in front of the house.
in front of the house. It's saying it was a block. You know what I'm saying? It was in the middle of the block in the neighborhood, so you know what I'm saying. But I'm always was the one to inspire others to do, because I'm gonna do me. At the end of the day, I'm not gonna follow nobody. I'm gonna do me. So before hanging out all day doing nothing, I went to school, and all these credits added up to getting my degree, which helped me start my own side hustle with graphic designs and all that, and later on starting more different businesses. So let's get to, you've got your therapy, your therapist now, and then let's talk about how you process transition into owning your company, starting your own company, and now having employees and now being considered a boss.
So the thing about me is, I always say employees and employers, they're both good because you need them both. But even when I started working for someone, so I got bored, went to school, started working, I always knew the 9 to 5 did not fit my personality. Even when I was in school before I started working, I always knew that I didn't want to be a therapist Monday through Friday.
You know, the funny thing, not to cut you off, it didn't fit my character either, but I just had to do what I had to do. I had that mindset of, I didn't want to do this, but I have to.
But I did what I had to do. But I didn't have to do.
No, I'm just saying, I wasn't with the 9 to 5 mindset, but it was at the same time, I have to do this because this is all I got.
But I think I had a little wiggle room. Remember we used to joke about everybody hates Chris. I was like the mom. And they'd be like, my man got 2 jobs.
Yeah.
And that was my mindset. So I knew I really didn't have to work if I didn't want to work. But as a team player, when I would see, when he got stressed, I'm like, okay, let me level up and let me go to school because I want to take some off his plate. And then my kids the older two they were like, what, middle school at that point?
With dates, I don't know.
So they were older. Our youngest was still in preschool and different things like that. But the other two were older. And so I'm like, okay, let me help take some things out off his plate. But while I was working, I'm like, yeah, this ain't me. And so I've always been the type to.
What job was that? Just you was working. This wasn't you.
The county of San Bernardino.
Okay.
The school district. I had to get my hours, my 3,000 hours. So to become a licensed therapist in the state of California, it's like a residency. So you have to have hours before you can, take your state test before you even get licensed. So those are things I had to do, but I enjoyed it because I love therapy. I do therapy with my eyes closed. It's not work for me. But I knew to be on somebody else's time, because time is huge to me. I didn't want to do that. And I feel like working for people don't understand, though, working for yourself, you actually spend more time than until you're able to get the engine running without you, where you don't have to put so much work in. You actually put more time in your business than you do because the 9 to 5 you clock out. But in your business, I'm working right now.
You put more time into, but the reward is much bigger.
The reward is much bigger.
The profit is way bigger. Because I used to work for a temp service, and basically say the job I get paid $12 an hour. I know that temp service getting at least double that, $24 an hour. So it's a bigger piece of the fruit when you own the business.
Okay. Because I always want to look at it from an employee's perspective too, and everybody doesn't have the mindset of being an employer or want to be an employer. And I just think you have to do what's best for you, what works for you. It does, clocking in a 9 to 5 doesn't work for me, but that doesn't mean it, because success is going back to success is viewed differently. And I think success is basically based on your individual blueprint of success. I feel like now we have a successful marriage. I feel like right now I have successful business. I feel like right now, I've been a successful parent, a successful wife, but it depends on the person. I think many times people look at other people's situation and they feel less successful, but what is the definition of success? And I believe that's based on your own measuring stick.
True. I totally agree with that, because you be outside looking through a window and just have no idea what's going on in there, and you thinking they successful in different areas in their life, which is crazy.
Because I think people see money as success, but money to me does not define success though, because if we had a lot of money, but we didn't get along, that's not successful to me. You know, if we had money,
I feel happiness is success. If a person just could completely wake up in the morning and just be happy, I think you hit success. You know what I'm saying? Because if you think about it, being happy is fucking hard to get.
You think so?
Hell yeah.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
I don't think so.
If you ain't got a job that's stressing you out and you're not happy, if your spouse out there cheating, you're not happy. Everything revolves back to happy.
But those are decisions, though.
Yeah, but it's still
you don't have to
affect.
wait.
It's still everything. It still affects your happiness. So if you get your happiness to 100%, I think that's successful.
But I think happiness is a choice, right? I think it's based on, because let's say your mate is out there cheating. It's a decision that you don't have to be in that situation, though. You know, like you don't like your job. That's a situation you can change. And so I feel like happiness comes from within. I'm optimistic. You know me, I always see the glass halfway full. And I feel like, just like my slogan with my business, life is simple. We just make it complicated. I really feel like, you know, you can have a down moment. And my dad gave me this, and I believe this. But that doesn't mean your day has to be down. You know, it's a moment, it's a situation. But I try to see the positive in everything, because happiness is a mindset. You know, it's not circumstantial. You got people in the hood and in poverty that's happy every day.
But thereby I'm saying, if you accomplish or conquer that happiness and you can walk through all these areas in your life and still be happy, that's true success.
No, I definitely think it's true success, but I don't think it's hard to acquire happiness. I think happiness is a mindset.
True. But you got to have that mindset to walk through the darkness. That's what I'm just saying. If you could walk through darkness and be happy, fucking you successful, man, at the end of the day. Because people want to say money, but money, I've seen people kill themselves and they have a fat ass bank account. So it's like that goes back to happiness. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Money, you can have a big ass house and there's chaos in it. Go back to happiness. I feel like everything goes back to happiness. And if you could walk through the dark and still be happy, I feel like you're successful in life. And that's a golden key right there.
Are you happy?
I would drop the dime right there. Like, woo wee.
Are you happy?
Yeah, I'm happy in that peace. Oh, let's not forget the peace and peace. That's two different things. You got to find that peace. I mean, some days I have my days, but some I get out my slump. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I'm cool in life. I'm in a cool ass spot.
I was being funny when I asked you, were you happy? Because, you know, I always do my check-ins. And I think it's important as a mate, to always check in with your spouse to see, gauge where they're at. Because I'm always like, you good? We good?
Yeah, sometimes people lie, though. But so, like, we was just sitting here talking about now, everything we just said.
Hold on. You slip. Sometimes people lie, though.
Yeah, people, when you ask them, are you good? And people just be like, yeah, I'm all right. You know what I'm saying? I heard a video.
No, you got to clarify that. Because
when somebody asks a man, is he cool? And he say, I'm all right. That means he ain't cool. Something's wrong with him.
But the way you slid that in there, like it was a subliminal, like you were saying, I do that. So you need to clarify that.
I'm cool. I'm all right. You know what I'm saying? But look, let's get back to the basically. We were just discussing.
No, we stand right here because people cannot see your face expression and you laughing and you're joking.
That's the power of the podcast.
No, and people think you serious.
That's the power of the podcast. Y'all take it how y'all want to. But we've 20 plus years in the game. So we were just describing years of the grind that we've been on. From the mud, getting where we at. But we're going to bring up to the topic of everybody feel like they have the right to spend our money when they at home doing shit. How you feel about that? Like, you know what I'm saying? People hitting you up. They even don't even hit you up to say how you doing, how you been. I'm just checking in, but they want to call you, I need help. I need this. I need that. You know what I'm saying? Because they feel like we're successful, but yet they ain't doing nothing to change their situation in life. They just want to ride the wave. How you feel on that kind of topic?
You know, it's frustrating because, you know, we're the type of people that
Want to help and be helpers.
don't ask me a question and then keep cutting.
Like you've been cutting me off all day.
Because you won't let me talk. So I think it's frustrating because, you know, we're the type, like, when we go out, we will foot the bill for the whole table. And I think, you know.
Oh man, we used to, man. When I was up, I was doing that, just flipping the bill. I'm talking about $1,000 bill, and then I hit rock bottom. The same people I be splitting them bills with, man, was not helping. But go back.
I forgot what I was saying because you keep cutting me
How
off.
we helpers and like to see people win.
Yeah, so if we rock with you, we really rock with you. You know what I mean? And that's just how we are. But to me, it's okay. So I was raised where you don't call and ask somebody for something unless you got a relationship with them, or you at least call and check on them. And so that going back to the lesson, even with my support system, when you'll be like, don't call them, we could do it ourselves. And so even though I know sometimes people need help, I also want people to understand, like, we're people. You know, it's hurtful when people don't even call you to say, hey, how you doing? But if you need a loan or you need money, you know our number.
And don't even invite you to their events, but that's a different topic.
Well, I don't care because I probably don't want to be there anyways. But the point is that you have to see people as humans, you know, and just because you think they're successful or you think they're at a certain level or not, you know, I don't just think you should just hit people up and just see them as a bank account. It's hurtful.
Exactly. Yeah, at least call me and say hi.
Well, I don't want you to be phony and just say hi. I just would prefer that, you know, like, you don't call me because we don't talk like that.
Yeah, because I was raised, that wasn't me. I'm not going to call and ask. I'm going to get out and do it and make it happen. You know what I'm saying? I guess people really don't have no shame in it, and it is what it is. But like I said, we like to help people, but we ain't going to be used. You know what I'm saying?
No, okay, I don't mind helping people, but I think it's a difference between needing help. Like, if somebody needs help, I don't mind that at all. But I don't like what I'm referring to is definitely usury. You know, if you want me to help you, the biggest way I can help you is you can ask me, how am I doing it? I don't have a problem with showing you. You know, I believe in teaching people how to fish. But, you know, people see sometimes as, you know, we've been taking trips, though, for years. That's nothing new. And people just think, oh, they take trips, they do this, they have this, they have that. But at the same time, we're still people. You know, respect us in a way that you would want somebody to respect you. If I just called you and like, hey, can I borrow $500? And I never talked to you in years. The last time I probably seen you was 2 years ago. If you would think that would be rude for someone to do it to you, then consider when you're just on the other side and you asking somebody else to do it for you.
Yeah, they feel like you acting bougie now. But let's go back to the trips. Because, yeah, we've been doing trips way before. But I want to let y'all know.
We didn't even have money like that when we was doing trips.
American, most of these airlines have, like, package deals that you could pay monthly on, $20 a month, like that. So it's all about where you spend your money and how you manage your money. Everything you don't got to pay up front. You just make a payment plan. And that's how we start our traveling years ago, is making the payment plans of $20 to $30 a month. You know what I'm saying?
But also, we've always, with money, we just didn't waste money. Like, when we got money, budget. And on top of budgeting, creating experiences with our kids, you know, not just going out splurging money and like, oh, yeah, they taking trips. Yeah, because we taking our kids somewhere because we're trying to create memories and do things for them that we necessarily didn't get to do when we were kids. And so people look at that like, you know, they think they're better than us. They don't want to be around us. And no, it's just like when you reach a certain type of mindset and you come from a dysfunctional family, you recognize it and you kind of separate yourself. And I think even separating from breaking cycles, period, is a form of success. Because I feel like we broke a lot of barriers in cycles that,
Oh yeah, especially the county and them food stamps.
yeah, you know, and I don't knock it. I don't knock it for anyone that's on it because we were on it for years. But that was one of my goals, is to never have to be on government assistance again. And for my kids not to have to be on government assistance. And so that's the mindset where I'm at. But I don't knock it, because if you use it to your advantage to get off, that's great.
It's a great tool, yes. But a lot of people ain't using it as a tool. They're using it as a way of life, and that's a bad mindset.
But that may be their level of success, is their own measuring stick. That may be their success.
What, successful to have Section 8 for your whole life?
Hey.
Pass it on to your kids?
Hey, that may be their form of success.
It might be, shit. You know what I'm saying?
I don't knock nobody.
They ain't knocking, but you know what I'm saying? The mindset got to change. You got to shift, because at the end of the day, that program can get shut off tomorrow.
This is what I've learned in life. This is what I've learned in life. There's those that are going to listen and get the information and do nothing with it. And there's those that are going to get information and thrive and take it and build upon it. And so for me, I don't knock anybody, because what you do in your household don't affect me. My thing is, if you don't want to use the information, just don't come asking me for anything.
Okay, so let's give some information. So if you're out there, you struggling and you feel lost, and you're trying to find yourself, find what you like to do. Once you find what you like to do, find a way to make money from it. And
that's a different podcast.
But I mean, we were still saying, I'm just throwing a little gem out there, little coins
but
out
it's
there.
not,
you know
though.
what I'm saying?
But it's really not.
It still relevant,
and it's not
relevant to success. I'm trying to help their ass get successful.
No, but
You know what I'm
no,
saying? Yes.
no, because success is basically success is based on an outcome, and everybody has their own outcome.
Okay,
so
that could be on an entrepreneur class or something.
Yeah, because success is whatever you feel your success is.
I'm gonna have to hold them gems for the later podcast, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe.
Yeah, because you know that's our definition of success. You know, our kids may have their own definition of success. My thing is, if you happy and you really walking in a place of peace, you are the most successful person in the world. Money has nothing to do with success. It's a mindset.
Oh, there goes a coin right there. Some mindset for you. That she dropping coins on y'all, man. Look at that. Ooh wee.
You crazy.
So go ahead. Because I'm lost now. So
this was your topic.
You took my sidetracks because you didn't want me to share them gems. So
because it was going on a whole different topic.
Okay, now let's talk about how people feel like you changed and you seem better
when you get successful.
They feel like you're successful. You know what I'm saying? So I had that experience. You know, let me share my story. That was crazy to me because I was mind blown myself. You know what I'm saying? So me and my wife been together, I'm gonna say at least 25 plus years.
It's been longer than that, but okay.
And the funny thing, my mother-in-law finally asked me to take a picture with GrindFace. I was like, damn, you knew me for 25 years and now you asking me for a picture. Man, and this was probably the only picture we ever took. And this is crazy because people want to say
29 years.
29 years. People want to say we changed, but the way everybody else is moving, they change because they look at you in a different way. You know what I'm saying? So they want to make it seem like the people that's successful, that they feel like they're successful, is the one acting Hollywood and shit. What do you think about that? You ever had any incidents on some shit like that?
Actually, it's 28 years. Yeah, come on, you know I have.
Yeah, I know you have, but the point, the people out here listening don't know you have.
It used to bother me in the beginning. It used to make me self-reflect a lot and question, like, you know, how, because my biggest thing is self-reflection, right? So I'm like, well, how, you know, am I moving? Why are they thinking this? And then I came to terms with, like, I'm the same person. It's not me, it's you. Like, I'm still connected with the same people. I'm still dealing with the same people. I'm still moving the same way I'm moving. I'm still talking the same way I'm talking. But it's you that's changing, because now you want to link up. Now you want to call. So I'm still doing the same things I've been doing. I haven't changed. And so what I've learned is it's not that you change, it's people change around you. And so they feel uncomfortable about their situation. So because you're doing what you've always done And so you think you're better. No, I'm still being me, just with a little bit more money. But I'm still Saniyyah.
True. I lost a couple people that don't want to hang out. I guess because they don't feel like they up to my caliber in life.
Which is so hurtful because you know what? This is the thing.
Never act bougie.
No, you definitely don't. It's the opposite. You definitely don't. But I think that's a inner issue that you feel inadequate or you feel beneath. See, I ain't gonna say never because I was at a place where I used to feel inadequate. I was broken. But I don't think I'm better or beneath anyone. And I think it's a self inner issue when you don't think you could be around somebody, because you think they're successful. Because the reality of the situation, we don't look down on anybody. We have people from all walks of life that we rock with, but they bring something to the table, and it's not always money. In most cases, it's not money. It could just be intellect.
Mindset. Yeah. It's the mindset because, to me, it's the mindset. I want to be around people that's trying to do something in life. If you're sitting around smoking and drinking all day,
that's the
I
thing.
get bored,
but that's the thing though, because that used to be you, which was my frustration. But I'm gonna say that was you. You used to get high and used to drink, but at the same time, you still was a go-getter. Yeah, so I can't even say that. But I think now that you don't drink, because he's you're like a social.
I'm a social drinker and smoker,
but not.
But the conversation is about the bag, about better yourself in the life. You know what I'm saying?
But I don't see back then. I think you used to just
back then it was
joke
just bullshit.
A lot. Yeah,
it was just bullshit.
And so now I think the sense of when you in those settings and they can't keep up with the conversation has changed. And so I think people don't, because they don't live that, which I don't feel like you have to live something to discuss something, especially if that's something you want. I was discussing things that I didn't have long before it was even in reach. But it was because I understood it, because I wanted it. And so I think that's a sense of people separating too, because it's like the conversations have changed. Yes. I'm not still talking how I was talking at 22.
True. And I guess they feel like they can't keep up with the conversation. But it's even in my group of circle, when I'm smoking and drinking and we
But
talking,
everybody in your circle don't smoke and drink.
But I'm just saying, when we hanging out, whatever, if I hear them say something, I'm going to pour into it. You know what I'm saying? Into the positivity of, oh, you could do that. You want to do this?
But I think that's the
conversation. But
now.
This is, a lot of people don't want to hear that. They don't, you know what I'm saying? Because you give them the way out. They don't want the way out. They want to stay and complain and, oh, man, I ain't got this and that. But see, I'm trying to give you solutions. They don't want to hear the solutions. And those are the type of people I don't want to be around because they draining. They going to suck the energy out of you. You know what I'm saying? They want to constantly bitch and complain.
So bad.
And complain and complain and complain and complain. Like, nigga, get up and go do it.
Y'all want to see him get bored
like, man,
and disinterested in the conversation? He going to get real quiet and stop talking.
Yeah, I don't do unnecessary talking.
Oh, but he gonna get super quiet. I be like feeling so bad because your mate. You just looking like, I wonder if they catching on.
Now they do if they listen to the podcast.
I really be feeling bad because I be looking like, oh my goodness, he's so rude.
And then that's just me. Sometimes I'll just take one for the team. You know what I'm saying?
You never take one for the team.
Not for the places I go to. I take one for the team.
With places
where? Half of the places you go to, I go along because I take one for the team.
That's different because you're going with me. No, because even when you go with me, you don't really talk to people. So I don't even know what you're talking about. See, this is the thing, too, that most people won't know about his personality. Y'all see this person on social media, but in real life, like, him and my son, well, pretty much, like I say, except for me, they're not going to do unnecessary talk. I don't like to do unnecessary talking either, but I won't be rude. But they'll just straight out stop talking to you. Like if the conversation, if the conversation,
I'm gonna walk away.
Yeah, him and my son for certain.
My oldest daughter, I feel trapped at my house. Or I'm going upstairs, going to bed. Like,
when do I ever have people?
Oh shit!
Now you just capping completely.
I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna remove myself from the environment.
You have more company over than I do. I don't really have anybody over.
We sidetracking from the success story. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna go back to the cause she just went all left field. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep her on the reins.
Okay.
So dang, what other area you want to get on success, Meg?
Maine.
We live. You can't leave them long pauses.
Oh, I'm just like, why are you calling me Maine? Like, you don't talk to me like that. Don't. Yeah, no. Babe. So, success in terms of, I think success. I mean, it's by your definition. I mean, there's no long way to put that. It's just success is your definition of success, however you view that, what that is to you. And that could mean something different for many people.
Oh, let me tell y'all, since we brought it up, this was one of my moments of success.
Are we talking about moments now?
I seen the BMW 7 Series. Man, it was white with the peanut butter guts. So I was like, man, I want that car. So I finally was in a position to get that car. So I bought the car. She didn't agree with the car. She said it wasn't the right move. But the point was, it was a goal on my list to accomplish that was something. Even though it was a bad decision, that it wasn't
bad.
It wasn't worth it, but it was still like a checklist on my list to get, and it felt good. I felt successful at that moment until I started having car issues.
Let me tell you something about Dimitrius. I always have to talk him out of stuff because, if he's always had this mentality, I only live once. If I want something, I'm going to get it. And I'm like the analytical, logical one, like, that really don't make sense. But I understand, and typically I just let him, I don't even put up a fight. Because
it wasn't an unnecessary purchase. It was something on my to-go list. It was a goal for me.
He does unnecessary purchases.
No, but it's my personal goal list. You don't know my personal goal list.
Necessary purchases. And the funny thing is, I just got to throw this in real quick. When he do unnecessary purchases, I'm like, hey, look, he make his money. I leave him alone. But let me make what he think is an unnecessary purchase. Oh, I'm not going to hear the end of it. I'm not going to hear the end of it.
What unnecessary purchase you made?
Oh, it don't matter.
Yeah, I don't say nothing.
He spent $10,000 on a bed. I was annoyed.
Hold on. Your ass is vibrating every night.
I was annoyed.
Shut up. You was vibrating
I was
every
annoyed.
Night.
What was it that I got? And you was complaining. You got that? Like, are you serious?
Yeah, them salesmen be getting me and shit.
A bed.
Actually, I mean, it was the whole set. It was a whole bedroom set.
Yeah, a bed. No.
Now, to tell me this, you don't use that vibrator every night?
I do, but at the end of the day, I would be
just
fine without one too.
But hold on, because you said you would not go back. You said you would not introduce people to something new. Trust me, she liked that bed. It was worth it.
But I wouldn't spend that much money on it.
Exactly. You had that. Because see, she always had that cheap mindset.
No.
It's like she
no.
It's some nice clothes. She want to go to Marshalls and Ross and shit.
What? Now you lying. Now you sit there lying and trying to be funny.
The point is you won't spend.
No.
You know what I'm saying? If I see something I like, I ain't looking at the price. I'm getting it. Bottom line.
The difference with him and I is that he has money and he's going to spend it. I can have money and forget I have money because I won't spend it, because I've always thought like this. Look, yeah, we in the moment, but at the same time, I'm going to take that money and I'm going to double it. I'm going to put that money into something. So for me, for years, I wasn't worried about clothes. I didn't care because I was building something. And so where he'd be like, oh, I'm going to buy this. I'm like, nah, let's save it for that. So that's the difference between him and I. Am I cheap? No, I like nice things. I buy nice things.
See, the difference is a young black male, tomorrow's not promised. I'm going to live my life. A black female, she got her whole life to live. She can save that money. You know
we both have a life to live. Like, we growing old together, so you can get that concept right out your head.
Being a black male, your risk is much higher.
But do you still feel that way? Because I hope you don't.
You seen the process that they the process for me to get life insurance, all the loops I had to jump through?
Yeah, but life and death is in the power of tongue, and we definitely not speaking that because we're living long together. Okay? I'm not going to be no widow. But I think we can wrap this up because bottom line, success is what you make it, period. I don't, think we
Stop letting the internet determine your success. Bottom line. Be happy on your own decisions and be happy in life. And stop trying to compare it to the Jones or the Miles. We're going to wrap that up, man. Y'all tap in, subscribe. This is something new venture we trying, the little podcast game, giving you our experience. We've been together for, she said, 28 years. She did the math on the calculator and shit. Like, that's when you know you've been together for a long ass time. They whip out the calculators, breaking down numbers and shit. Like, but y'all tap in, subscribe.
How long have we been married?
22 years.
22?
That's how old Papa is.
No, he's not. You don't know how old your son is?
Forget all
23.
The numbers. 23 years. Shit, who cares? But y'all tap in. Y'all can find us on Instagram. I am GrindFace. You can find her at. Speak up. I ain't gonna say it.
Oh, what handle? Saniyyah, Mayo, everything.
Okay, Saniyyah, Mayo, everything. So this is GrindFace and the Therapist, man. Tune in next week. Be out.
Bye.